This afternoon we have been focusing a lot around how we can protect our organisations, particularly looking at the mobile space and working out how we can protect information no matter where it sits. We've also focused on surveillance techniques, and we've talked just briefly about the network before. But really, when you connect a business to the internet, you're going to come under some form of attack. That's just inevitable. You can't stop it from happening. You may not be aware it's going on, but there'll be some form of probing or research going on against your organisation. To put it into context, Vodafone operates in 22 countries, and we report all of our security incidents back to a central point, a global security operations centre. And we record, on average, 65 billion attacks against the Vodafone infrastructure per month. So 65 billion attacks occurring against the Vodafone infrastructure. Now, most of that can get whittled down. In fact, they consolidate it down to about 1 million events of interest per month that have to be investigated by our teams. So no matter what you are, no matter what size organisation you are, you're going to come under some form of attack. And unfortunately, geographic isolation is not a security measure. Just because we're sitting down here at the bottom of the world, it does not mean it's harder for people to launch an attack against our environments or to scan our environments. So looking at how we can protect an organisation as it moves online, we have Glenn McDonald here. He's going to talk about Vodafone Secure Internet as a solution. So I'll hand over to Glenn now.
Let's look at operating efficiently. We all think we operate efficiently. In fact, we all strive for efficiency in our business and our operations every day. It'll be probably one of your KPIs, one of our outcomes that we need to do is operate as efficiently as possible, as cost effectively as possible. We've also got to be flexible. Not only flexible to manage our workforce, our practices, but also flexible in order to react to the marketplace and take advantage of opportunities that open up. Flexibility, especially for Kiwis, is very much the name of the game. And of course, we are competitive. Not just striving to be competitive with the competition, but being at least one, if not two leaps ahead. Being competitive, operating efficiently, being flexible, probably takes up a huge chunk of our working day. We're working pretty hard to stay in business. Security is probably one of those things that doesn't come first in that checklist. You know, we need those customers in the door. We need to be efficient. We're working pretty hard to turn a buck to actually pull in that revenue to make those KPIs, and then we'd better do security. But to me, security is all about mobility. And if I just think back to your house, or my house anyway, this morning when I left the house, checked that the windows were closed, locked the front door, checked it, and that security, fairly simple security I've put in place, enabled me to leave home, come here, safe in the knowledge that there's a reasonable chance that no one would break in. So security is actually significant mobility enabler. It enables us to get out and move away from the things that we value. So security, it's vitally important. It actually, to me, it actually forms the foundation of, say, the way I work, for example. Like this is my laptop here, and I actually do not have an office at all. I operate between our two offices here in Auckland, over at Smiles Farm, and at the Viaduct, so I'm completely portable. My laptop here, which travels with me, has got access to the complete Vodafone global network. All of our intellectual property, all of our resources, everything, almost everything that Vodafone has made available to me. But Vodafone is actually reasonably happy that I'm travelling around with it, because the hard disk is encrypted. I need to enter a special code to decrypt the hard disk. Once I've decrypted the hard drive, I've then got to actually log on using my own password. And once I've actually gone through that, then if I want to access any of the Vodafone global resources from anywhere, I've then actually got to go and enter in another password, and in fact what's called two-factor authentication, where I actually need to have a token, little RSA token that looks very much like this, that you guys have probably all seen many a time, and I can actually log into our corporate resources. So very nicely protected mobile operating environment. And it wouldn't really matter if I lost this, although it is a nice piece of kit. Vodafone might get annoyed, but our confidential information will remain confidential. Now, Vodafone Secure Internet, that I'll dive into in a little bit in a minute, offers the same level of security from a two-factor authentication. In fact, it's hard tokens, soft tokens, certificates, SMS, any type of two-factor authentication is available and actually works very nicely. So this slide here, bunch of statistics on the right-hand side. I won't really dive into them too much, but really the key outcome from this slide is that security is a balance. It's a compromise. You know, I talked about my house earlier. I don't have a solid steel front door. I don't have bulletproof glass on the windows. That would make it invulnerable, but also quite impractical as well. So I know how much security to put in place generally to make it reasonably safe. And so it is with our business as well. We can't lock our data down, so it can't be removed from the data centre. We can't lock our employees down, so make sure leave all smartphones and devices before you leave work, or before you leave to go home, leave them at your desk. We actually want our employees to be productive and smart so they can be flexible, so we can be competitive, so we can operate efficiency. So we need to actually put a layer of security in place that actually enables us to do that. I guess, you know, time to think back a little bit. We all know what viruses are. And it wasn't too long ago that viruses were really one of the most significant threats to us from the internet. And those viruses could be damaging. They're certainly inconvenient. They may have altered your screensaver, for example. Worst case, they may have deleted all the files that you had access to on the network drives. But that's significantly inconvenient. But the key difference today is that the attacks are moving from the inconvenient to the criminal, to the damaging. The first statistic up there from Symantec, 30% of internet-based attacks are specifically targeting what we call sort of medium business land, which is most of New Zealand businesses. They're working hard and they are actually succeeding. I gave a presentation very much like this to our account team based down in Waikato, and one of the account managers says, my customer just lost $55,000 through an email attack. And that was a small manufacturer, and that was a significant loss to their business. Because not only did they lose the $55,000, they then had to write out another $55,000 to the legitimate supplier as well. So these attacks are happening right here in Heartland, New Zealand, and they're targeting SMEs because the personnel are more identifiable. It's easier to track down the CEO or the CIO or the CFO, find out what their names are. Once you find out who they are, do net searches, get a profile, start sort of trying to pretend to be someone you're not. And as the second point there from Ernst & Young says, a lot of these attackers are in your networks now, just waiting for some interesting traffic to pass through before they make their attack. And also more disturbing, as Ernst & Young say, in the time it's taken for this presentation, we all would have been attacked and had some type of security breach. And it depends how good our defences are as to how serious that is. So, Vodafone Secure Internet. So Vodafone Secure Internet is a fully managed cloud-based firewall solution. So it combines unlimited internet. There's no traffic on the internet connectivity. It's clean, filtered, free of malware, viruses, phishing attacks, and it's for a set monthly fee. It also comes with, two of the variants come with quite extensive remote capability as well. So either VPNs or to truly enable your staff to be remote securely, such as the two-factor authentication, so that they can actually sit with their laptop or tablet or smartphone in a public Wi-Fi environment, accessing your data, being productive, being flexible, being efficient, and they can do that securely. Also, it's not mentioned up there, but it's probably key to you if you're entrusting Vodafone with your security, how well it's working. Is it working? What am I actually getting for my money? Vodafone Secure Internet has a very extensive standard reporting package. It'll give you in-depth information on what's been going on the network, who's been doing what websites have they been looking at. You know, Glenn, for example, spent 16.7 hours last week looking at TradeMe. Well, there's a problem. Perhaps I might block TradeMe for Glenn or for the company on the network. I'm not on TradeMe specifically. That could be anybody. Just an example. But it also, the reporting will also be able to tell you what viruses have been blocked, what malware has been blocked, what's happening out there from a malicious perspective. So as well as interesting information and useful information as to what your staff are doing, what they're looking at, where the traffic is going to and from in almost real-time manner through a Vodafone customer portal, it can also tell you about the security and safety that VSI is able to deliver. And I think that's only fair. We wouldn't ask you to move to a hosted solution without giving you what I call the instrumentation or the feedback to ensure that it is actually doing the job that you have entrusted us to do. Also, through one of the product tiers, you actually have the ability to go into that very same portal and make some firewall changes yourselves through a fairly secure and controlled manner. So it's all about putting you in control. So I won't spend too much time on this slide. This is basically just a very high level overview of some of the features. The standard product is called Standard. No brains, no prize for naming that one. I think I might have named it, but it basically provides everything I've just been talking about without the remote capability. So you get the extensive reporting, you get the fully filtered high-speed internet connection that is not capped. And that high-speed internet connection is delivered over our fibre network, over our private IP network. So it's very high quality. This is probably one of the better internet connections you would have in the country. And by the way, it's safe. And as we move on up through Flex and Premium, we start to add remote capability. And on to Premium, we've actually got full Active Directory integration available to your environment. So you can start to manage the Vodafone Secure Internet through your own policies. You can say, you can have, for instance, one policy of marketing, another policy for finance, another policy for sales, and you can just drop employees into those, and with the AD integration, they will automatically get the right internet policy that you have assigned to them. Also, that means that in the reports you will actually get the names of the people as well. So instead of just saying an IP address, you actually go, Glenn did this and Colin did that. So it's actually quite comprehensive, extensive reporting from that perspective. We'll also have a bit more capability from an intrusion protection and intrusion detection across the product as well. So very, very comprehensive. So if I can just sum up Vodafone Secure Internet by saying, key to the product is it puts you in control. How does it do that? Through reporting, feedback, so that you know what's network, as I say, in almost real-time basis when you have access through the portal. And also you can actually go in and you can make some firewall changes as well. Your choice of network connectivity, or should I say speed, is all delivered over Vodafone private IP, anywhere from 10 through to 100 megabits per second for the standard product. And no compromise. I worked pretty hard to ensure that we actually came up with a managed firewall solution that is built across multiple Vodafone data centers in a fully HA mode, so it's very reliable, but I didn't want to actually compromise on the quality of the firewalls either. The equipment we use is actually Fortinet equipment. It's In fact, Fortinet just won an award for being the very first, for being the firewall manufacturer who's able to pick up the most what's called zero-day exploits. Fully certified by a lot of defence organisations, and key to me is that it is kept fully up to date on a less than an hourly basis to ensure that any new threats and that through the internet are mitigated as quickly as possible. So there's a raft of engineers around the world who keep our firewalls up to date for you. So we made sure that there really was no compromise. But of course, there's no point in having a product like this in the marketplace unless it meets the market, not only on quality, reporting, and control, but also in pricing as well. I think if you speak to your account managers, I would like to think you'll be pleasantly surprised at the price of this product. So, Vodafone Secure Internet, a layer of security for you from Vodafone. Thank you.